What's up guys, it's Shally. Kyle asked me to do a plug for the new Aeroy shirts we just got. We're gonna be running a pre-order on these, so at the end of the video, if you want one, go ahead and snag one, because I mean, look at these things. They're so sick. Enjoy the video.
What's up guys? Today we are all the way in North Carolina. We are here at the A2 wind tunnel where we have Aeroy, our completely gutted exo cage cyber cart. As you guys know, we took a Model S Plaid, cut the body of it off. Today we're gonna see how good or bad the aerodynamics are. And we got it right over here. This is Jeff, and he is going to be helping us today. And what are we looking at here, Jeff? This is quite the contraption.
It is quite the contraption. So this is A2 wind tunnel. We can test full-scale cars, we can test motorcycles, bicycles, you name it. We're running the wind speeds in here up to 85 miles an hour. A lot of people worry they're going speeds higher than 85 miles an hour. Doesn't matter. Aero forces scale up pretty linearly. So we can get, if you're looking at a Bonneville car, 250, 300 miles an hour, we can still plan for that. So how we're measuring the forces in here is we've actually got a big steel frame underneath the floor, and we've got load cells attached to it in every axis. So when the car rolls onto these pads, you're actually transferring all the forces through the floor down to our rig underneath. So yeah, we're measuring drag, side force, lift, front and rear, and then it'll give you the total lift, or downforce as most people like to look at it. And then we're also able to measure your yaw moment, your roll moment, and your pitch moment.
And so the fans are blowing or pulling?
The fans are definitely pulling. So if you ever go into a wind tunnel and they're blowing air at the car, get your money, run out the door. Fans generate a lot of turbulence. So what you need in a wind tunnel is really clean air, smooth air, so that everything's repeatable. Turbulence is not repeatable. So you can imagine if you do one run, you get some numbers, you don't change anything, you do another run, and the numbers are different because you've got really dirty air, that's not gonna help you at all. You don't know what your results are gonna be.
This is gonna be really exciting, guys. We're gonna get Aeroy in there, see if we can't make any improvements while we're here, and I think it's just gonna be really cool to see how the aero on Aeroy compares to like a factory Tesla Model S. Let's get this thing in there and see what happens.
All right, man, moment of truth.
Aeroy is in position. We are ready to go, and sounds like they're gonna give us a little taste of what it's like to be in the wind tunnel here.
They're gonna fire this old
Take our
Johnny
hats
up.
off, but it's gonna be so sick, dude.
Nuts. Oh shit. Here we go.
Hold on to your hat.
A little, just
30 mile an hour,
dude.
That was like full tilt.
Oh,
There's a moment there I was kind of worried if I was gonna.
dude, same. I kept squatting down and more into the wall.
I was like, dude, why? You better brace. I'll have to catch you when you start sliding on the floor.
Oh man, that is nuts.
All right, well, Aeroy in the wind tunnel. We're gonna go over into their office over here and do our first run with some data and see our results, see what the coefficient on this thing is. Factory Tesla Plaid is like 0.24. They claim 2.1, but they said they've had one in here and it's actually more like 2.4. So we're gonna see how far off that number we are.
You know, honestly, I think our wind tunnel's stronger than that. It's weak.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing. And we are winding up right now for the first test. You can see the license plate flapping right there. Hanging on for dear life.
Aerodynamic drag right there.
I like all the camera angles. Do you guys ever actually tape on the little strings?
Oh yeah.
Along the panels?
So that's called tufting, and the best way to do that is with yarn, because it's really lightweight, but it's also kind of thick, so it catches more air You don't want to do it with like thread or something like that. It's lightweight, but it's too thin. It doesn't catch a lot.
Only amateurs use thread.
Yeah. Amateurs.
But yeah, that's a great way of visualizing the airflow at the surface of your car or whatever you're going to put it on. So first numbers came up. You can point it at your screen over there if you want to. We're looking at a drag coefficient of 0.6.
0.6.
Is that good or bad?
It's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad, huh?
Pretty bad.
Well, factory is 0.21 to 0.24.
Good Lord, we made it 3 times as worse.
And that's the drag coefficient.
Yeah.
What's the actual math of that number? Like, what does that represent?
It's complicated, but I can tell you a breakdown. In a wind tunnel, you're always comparing to a frontal area. So frontal area is, if you look at the camera, it's the bottom left picture there. It's basically everything you see from directly in front of it. And you take that, in our system, you do square feet. And then the drag coefficient is basically how efficient that size is. So right now, if you're looking at a flat plate that looks just like that car from the front, it would have a drag coefficient of about 1.0. So it having your car having a 0.59 means it's about 60% the drag of a flat plate the same size as the front of your car.
So what he's saying is that thing is a brick going through the wind, just like my truck.
Yeah. Your truck is a perfect square, so it's probably 1.0.
Probably worse.
So that's another thing that people don't necessarily grasp onto when you're talking about drag coefficients is trucks. Even if you're talking about a semi-truck, you can have semi-trucks that have a drag coefficient of a 0.3. Really? Because you're comparing to the frontal area. You're comparing to the size of the truck. So it's how efficient is that shape for the size. So even if you're looking at a car with a drag coefficient of 0.3 versus a truck drag coefficient of 0.3, obviously the truck's making a ton more drag, but for its size, it's making 30% the drag of a flat plate its size.
Gotcha.
The car is making 30% the drag of a flat plate its size. So
But
yeah,
it's
that's the
relative,
first
so-
run in the books. We always take at least 2 data points if you look at the sheet. So each one of these points that we took is a 77-second average. The reason we always take 2 data points is if something happens in the middle of the run, something comes loose, the car moves, whatever the case is, that would get averaged into that total number. We don't want to see it averaged into the total number. We'd never know if anything happened. So you take 2, and then if something happened during one of those data points, the 2 numbers are going to be dramatically different. So you always take 2 data points. As long as they're close, we're good, and we keep rolling. So you tell me what speed you want to see, and I'll tell you how many horsepower of drag you're generating for that speed.
150 mile per hour.
Yeah, we see 150 at the track.
So for 150 miles an hour, just to overcome the air, is taking 347 horsepower.
So we have 1,020 horsepower to work with, and we are losing 300 of that just to the aerodynamics. So theoretically with that, if once that horsepower number is 1,020, would that be the theoretical top speed, or how does that correlate?
You've still got mechanical losses, you've still got rolling resistance, but the aerodynamic drag is roughly 90% of your horsepower is just going into pushing through the air.
Gotcha. That's crazy.
So first run, we had a 0.599, basically a 0.6 on the drag coefficient. And you said you had a Model S in here in the past, and it was about a 0.24,
right,
somewhere in that area. So we are not looking too aerodynamic right now on Eroy, boys. So he just plugged in the coefficient of a factory Model S and then compared it at 150 miles an hour. It would take us 346 horsepower to maintain 150 mile an hour, whereas a factory Model S would only need 140 to maintain that same mile an hour, which is pretty nuts. Literally double the horsepower there.
Yep. That's crazy.
Got some work to do, boys.
Yes, we do.
I'm not too worried. Our extensive wind tunnel research at the house proved that our cardboard is going to work. So before we start adding our aero mods to Eroy and see how they improve it, we are going to smoke it how it is right now. And we're going to see where all of the air is getting, turbulated. I don't know if that's a word. Is that a word, turbulated?
Not that I know of.
Where all of our turbulent air is.
So yeah, you were just asking me about, is this basically an amped up fog machine? It is basically an amped up fog machine, but one really important part of it is just having this wand. If you have a box, you're going to be generating a lot of turbulence, and as the smoke will show turbulence, you won't get a smooth stream coming off of the wand. So it's really important here that we've got a small tapered area that's not going to generate a lot of turbulence, so the smoke can get a nice smooth stream. Which comes to point number 2. When we're in here in the tunnel, you guys got to stand up against the walls. If you were standing in front of the car trying to get pictures or video, you're making a lot of turbulence, so we're not going to get a smooth stream.
Makes sense.
Here we go.
All right. Well, he has it right there on the remote. Up and over.
So I doubt you could hear us at all with all the wind, but
That was super cool, and that's all that needs to be said.
It was really cool. So the speed holes in the back look like they're doing their job. He was saying that us covering these fog light holes right here helped a lot as well. You can see how smooth the air was passing over that.
Definitely need to cover up this gap.
Yeah, any pockets on the front that we can seal up will help it.
We also need to cover this. I don't know if you saw it in the video, but when he put the wand up here, this was creating tons of drag, and there was actually smoke coming out of the wheel wells. So the air is getting in here and turbulating really bad. So I think we put a vinyl piece from the hood to the windshield, help clean that up.
And there's also a ton of air coming inside the cabin here, and the air's actually circling backwards and traveling the opposite direction, which is just not good at all.
Yeah.
And we want to get as much air up and over the top and around the sides of the car as we can. Are we ready to start adding our cardboard?
Yeah, I think we need to start fixing some aero mods.
All right.
well, the number to beat is 0.599 on the drag coefficient, so hopefully we can improve that a little bit.
I don't think that'll be difficult, but then again,
It's us.
it's
Who knows?
us. We'll see.
Well, I tell you what, guys, our cardboard body came out freaking beautiful. What do you think it's gonna do now?
I mean, it's gonna help for sure. I think we were kind of estimating, we were at a 0.599. You said what, a 0.4?
Dude, I'm thinking a low 0.4.
I would honestly put my money on that being somewhere in the right neighborhood.
Dude, I think this is gonna work. I think it's gonna work. So we also changed how the cardboard curves back here. We pulled it out a little bit just so that the air will hopefully go out and around the rear tires here. We got her taped up good. Dude, this thing just might end up being the final result. We taped it on there so good we could probably run it at the track like that.
Yeah, man. We're just
But-
gonna cut a little access hole in the
Yeah, just
roof that
climb on
flips
in
up.
there.
You're good to go.
We're gonna leave our professional installed thread on there. Definitely not. Or
Jeff
yarn,
pointed
yarn.
out earlier, this is not ideal, but you know what? We're scientists too, so.
You know, I had no idea at the time that you would put like thread on here, so sorry about that.
called us out plain as day.
No, it's yarn, definitely. We wouldn't do that. But yeah, we got the cardboard on. We also taped up this front little grill spot right there because that's gonna help us. And then we filled in these gaps right here where the cage meets the windshield. So we're gonna go back inside and see if it improved. It better improve. It's gonna improve.
We'll laugh when it gets worse.
The math checked out at our house.
The trunk lid.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my finger on the trigger.
Here we
just in
go.
case.
Yeah, keep your hand ready in case some cardboard flies off. He has to shut it down. We're winding up. Dude, that cardboard look at all of our little strings. Oh my gosh. It is ripping in there. Oh, we have one little flap right there. You can see right here. Dude, that's ready for the drag strip. We just have the corners flapping right here a little bit. They're shutting the door for us.
On the noise a little bit.
Yeah, that was a little loud.
Look if that's gonna fall off.
Dude, it's holding no problem. All right, where are these numbers at?
10 seconds. Till we
10
get our
seconds
first
remaining.
wheel going. Wow, helped it way more than I.
Oh!
What did I tell you?
Dude!
What did I tell you?
0.27?
Did I not say that? I'm pretty sure I said it was gonna be like 0.2.
Are you kidding? Dude, hold on.
I am a
No,
mastermind.
calm. We knew this was gonna happen. Our math checked out in the garage.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
only
true.
coming.
We're
We're only
perfectionists.
here
Yeah, we're
at this
scientists.
wind tunnel to confirm our results from the home test.
Yeah, our test definitely said success, and so
Yeah.
obviously
Dude, that's really good.
that's very impressive.
That's really good, right?
I mean, now I believe your leaf blower numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Milwaukee don't lie.
Damn, we just cut it in half.
That's better than a stock one, ain't it?
No, it's
What's
not.
a stock?
Point-
0.24 is
Stock's
what we measured
0.24.
at.
Stock's 0.24.
Yeah,
What's this one?
0.27.
I mean, it's not bad.
But we were at a 0.6.
Yeah.
That's much better than not bad.
Yeah.
That's really good. So now at 150, you went from 346
Oh, dude.
to
Dude.
159.9.
Perfect. That is way better.
That helped tremendously.
All right, so this is our world record body kit right here.
That's it. Everyone doubting us, dude.
The Milwaukee
Cardboard.
don't lie, man. We are scientists.
We knew what we were doing in there.
Kids never try that at home.
So do you think there's still more to be had by closing the back of the car off?
For sure. The same thing that you saw behind the windshield is exactly
gonna be
what you'll
behind
see
it.
behind the car now. And that's going to happen with any car. You're going to see some of that recirculation in the low pressure area. The idea is to try and minimize that.
Gotcha.
All right, got the back blocked off on Eroy. We are going to try it for a third time. All right, we are winding up again. Did all this work cutting the body off the car just to put a body back on it.
I was gonna say, would have been quicker.
Hey,
to
but
get the factory stuff.
it's 900 pounds lighter now.
And it's going to look way cooler.
Maybe not to the Tesla engineers, but to
Yeah.
us.
I don't even know about that. I have a picture of how this is gonna turn out.
Oh, less drag, but not a lot less. So at 150 miles an hour, that saved you about 4 horsepower.
The back saved us 4
Yeah,
horsepower.
so closing it off didn't make a huge difference.
So it did help a little bit, but now we're at a 0.26 instead of the 0.27. Hey, but every little bit helps.
Yep.
This is what we're looking like for the 4th test. We went ahead and patched up the front duct right there for the cooling fan just to see if that will help. We also taped off all of the body lines, and we should be good for a 4th run here. We still have a couple more changes to make after this, but we're doing each thing individually so we don't make too many changes all at once. So we know the results from each little change that we do.
You know, some people might think that we're doing it in this style, you know, with the cardboard and the tape and whatnot, is the YouTube special, right? This is all for looks. This is the same way we would work on any car in the tunnel. You use scraps of cardboard, or you have sheet metal panels that are pre-made, lots of duct tape, lots of tape. This is the same thing we do with just about anything we have in the tunnel.
Oh, 0.260.
Let's go.
We're almost in the 0.25s.
Man, that grill made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helped. 0.260. That's definitely a pretty good improvement over just the original cardboard body run.
A lot of times we would expect to see a grill being covered up would increase your front downforce. We're not seeing that, but there's no guarantees in Aero. Aero is pretty much guess and check. Yeah, you can't really make blanket statements. You can have trends where, you know, 75% of the time the air does something, but there's no promises.
I mean, dude, it's almost back to its
to where it
production
started,
coefficient
Yeah.
with 900 pounds out of the car.
Right.
Let's see, what are we gonna go this time? The back of the hood, the transition from the hood to the windshield?
Yeah. You want to do the wicker at the same time, or just that first?
Yeah, let's just do that first.
One at a
We'll do
time?
the wicker stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna cover up the windshield wiper cowl, because if you guys saw with the smoke, the wind or the air is getting in there and turbulating really bad, like coming out of the wheel wells, like going everywhere.
Yeah, so we'll just tape across that and smooth that part out,
Yep.
see if that helps pick up. And then after that, we are talking about adding a wicker right here, just in case that will help separate the air coming up and over, because he's saying if the air tries to follow this shape, it will actually, you know, create more drag. So the wicker actually can help separate that. But we'll do that one after we fill in the windshield cowl right here.
So in Aero, we call the third decimal point, the thousandths, we call those counts. So I'm thinking somewhere around 5 counts. So I think we'll be around like 255. There we go. I was
Oh,
pretty close. I said 5 counts.
0.256. You were pretty much right on it. He said 0.255. But we're in the 0.25s.
That's impressive. We're getting there.
Kyle said, does the temperature in the tunnel affect the numbers? And Wyatt asked about the humidity. Because the temperature has changed in the tunnel today and it's raining outside, right? So temperature and humidity do affect the numbers, but we compensate for that. So basically we are, we got some lift.
Oh, we had a breach. We had a breach in the
So,
cardboard,
yeah,
and that dropped
here's
us down a
perfect
little bit.
example. Look at our numbers. We were at a 0.256, and the second point was at 0.269. So that's exactly why we always take 2 data points. If something happens and we don't see it physically, we can still see it in the numbers, and we know we have to go out there and check. But I was talking about the temperature and even the barometric pressure, so the ambient air pressure, and the humidity will all affect the numbers on the car. So what we do is we are constantly taking a dynamic pressure in the tunnel, or we refer to that as Q. So as long as you're measuring your Q, the temperature's affecting that, the barometric pressure and the humidity are affecting that. So throughout the day, that's going to move around. The forces of the car is going to be affected the same way. So as long as we're always comparing relative to our Q, our tunnel dynamic pressure, and we're basically measuring the difference between the two. So if you're not doing that, your numbers are going to go all over the place and it's going to be hard to track. So you always measure that tunnel dynamic pressure and it compensates.
So we just added this makeshift wicker on the back here. So this is probably one of the final things we're going to do. I don't think we can get too much better than this.
Yeah, without a complete redesign.
Yeah, without completely redoing it. But dude, I'm already pretty pumped on the results.
I mean, it's got to be a lot better than it's
It went from
obviously a lot better than it was.
0.6 to a 0.25 is where we're at now, which is
0.25.
nuts.
And like the biggest thing is just the horsepower to maintain speed. We've cut it in half. So theoretically, this design should put us back in the mile per hour range that a stock body one is.
Yeah, we're gonna be basically the same arrow as a stock one,
Yep.
but we have that 900
900
pound
lighter.
weight
So
reduction still. So
this honestly, I would figure picks us up 5-6 miles an hour just with the arrow. So,
I'm anxious to see once we actually make it legit and bring it to the track.
yeah.
All right, guys, this might be the final run. See what it does.
So there's a chance this could
Or it might get
actually
worse.
increase the drag and also increase the rear downforce. We're going for decreasing the drag, but no promises.
That's why we're at the wind tunnel.
Wind tunnels aren't normally accessible to the average person, so it's just not in anybody's mindset, like, let me think about aero testing, right? But we specifically designed this place to be accessible to the average person, which is why it's priced at just $5.95 an hour. So you can get in here for $1,200. Let's say you can reduce your drag by 20 horsepower. Like, how much money is it going to take you to increase your engine horsepower by 20 horsepower? It's the same thing. You can come in here and get 20 horsepower off your drag, or you can try for $1,200 to get 20 extra horsepower on your engine.
People spend that kind of money on dumb things that don't help the car at all. Nobody really thinks about the aero.
The results for this one, we were at 152 horsepower. Now we're at 159 horsepower. So we increased the drag.
Wicker didn't help as far as the
However,
drag coefficient.
Yeah, we got 70 pounds of rear downforce out of that little 1/4-inch wicker running across the back.
Well, guys, that's gonna do it. The wicker did not help our drag coefficient, but it did give us downforce for our application. We're probably not gonna need that. So the best we were able to get was this 0.256 right here, and that is not far off the factory Model S of a 0.24 around there, which is really impressive considering when we came in here with no cardboard on the car, we were at a 0.598, basically 0.6. So we are less than half of what the drag coefficient was when we came in, and that will require way less horsepower to maintain the speeds we're trying to go. So we're gonna do the smoke one more time with the cardboard on, just to show how it has improved the airflow over E-Roy here. Oh yeah, look at that, way better. Way better.
You can even look at the cardboard coming over the wheels back here. Normally, if that flare wasn't there in front of the wheels, you'd see a lot of turbulence there. So that definitely helped, kicking it out in front of the wheel. And obviously, you can see the air is separating really well off the back of the car, because you can see a clear line. If you look at the smoke here, I wonder, let's pull that off and see if we were getting any of the air coming around or if it was separating. There you go. You noticed before when that wicker was on there, you didn't see none of that air was trying to recirculate. But now when I put it here, you can see some of that air is breaking down and trying to recirculate. Yep. So we aren't getting as clean a separation off the back as we'd like to have. But that wicker obviously was a little too big.
Yeah, it's really cool watching that wicker separate it.
So yeah, that way you really got a visual representation of what it means for the air to get a clean separation coming off the back versus when we took it off and you could see the air was kind of trying to break and come down and fill up some of that negative pressure back there.
That's a lot better.
Big success coming over here.
Right? Aerodynamic engineers now.
Huge thanks to Jeff over here at the A2 Wind Tunnel. If you guys want to test the aerodynamics of your car, all you have to do is show up. You can get a couple-hour session and improve those horsepower gains without actually adding more horsepower to your engine. So really awesome. Thank you for showing us around and just everything you've taught us today. And we improved the aerodynamics a ton on E-Roy with our cardboard modifications. So I'm pumped to actually, take it to the next step. Get something more permanent, take it to the track, and see what it does. But it's been a pleasure. If you guys want to check out the A2 Wind Tunnel socials, we'll link everything down below. They're also going to be posting more YouTube videos here soon, making more content. So anyone who found this interesting, if you guys want a deeper dive into all that, Jeff's going to be making tons of more content on their channel moving forward, going from there. So once again, thank you so much, man, and hopefully we'll do you proud at the track.
Yeah, not a problem. We had a good time. It was a good day.
We also got one more thing to do before we get out of here.
All right, good luck, buddy.
Busted out the old EDF jet.
This is about to be the demise of this poor jet.
This might be its last flight, but it'll be worth it. See if we can keep it stable in here.
You're ballsy standing behind it. You put the gear up for like a split second.
I was worried about putting the retracts up because I was getting close to the ground.
Man.
Dude, it actually flew pretty stable.
That's not bad.
That was pretty solid. It is so touchy. If I need like dual rates on this because I just have it set up to like, do stunts and stuff. I barely tap it, it's gonna
Gone.
Really hoping you were gonna go for the barrel roll.
barrel roll's a little too risky.
I was really hoping for straight up vertical.
You know what? Here's the deal. If we ever come back, I'll attempt a barrel roll. Sweet. But it might be the end of the plane.
Put a safety line on it.
That's
But
pretty
yeah, that
bad.
was pretty cool. The Viper lives another day.